Well, hello, Michelle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Um, Today, I just wanted to have a conversation with you about you and about Sanctuary Indy and about what is happening there. And I really just want people to know about what it is that you're doing. And you are a partner here with the Indy Network. And it is such an honor to have you with us. Your heart for the homeless is amazing. Um, so let me just intro it that way. Sanctuary Indy is a ministry that works with homeless people, homeless families, homeless individuals, and is working towards helping them get into housing and into a more permanent lifestyle. Um, Now that's me giving it in a nutshell. But Michelle, just tell us a little bit about you and about Michelle Shelburne, and then we'll go on from there into the ministry.
Okay. I am a strong believer that's been working in the field of homelessness for over 20 years. Primarily, I'm going to say doing street outreach. That's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about 4 years ago that I actually discovered a crack in our system that where I felt like we could go beyond doing simply street outreach and provide for stronger needs within our community in helping with housing. And um, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're
um,
good.
I got a call there. So I started this mission where Sanctuary Indy is a Christ-centered community serving to provide refuge, validation, and vital resources for our chronically homeless neighbors in Indianapolis. I learned about chronic homelessness being an individual who has essentially been experiencing homelessness for over 1 year, plus they have a diagnosed disability. And a lot of times those individuals are also experiencing a severe mental illness, substance use disorder, cognitive disabilities that may have led to homelessness or that were acquired once they became homeless. So they are really the bottom of the barrel of uh, the subpopulation of homelessness, and knew that we could work better as a community if we brought together the church
Mm-hmm.
with the public sector in um, trying to handle this growing crisis that we have in Indianapolis. So we are doing that in more ways than one. We are doing a housing development. It's called a permanent supportive housing development. That's a definition by HUD, meaning that it's not just housing, but it's housing with wraparound services. We
Okay.
have permanent supportive housing in Indianapolis. We don't have what I would call a dignifying um, permanent supportive housing model, and Sanctuary Indy will be providing that. We are doing that with 24 tiny homes because we feel that homes provide more of a beneficial um, holistic healing for individuals who are going through these barriers than
Mm-hmm.
apartments might be able to do. We're doing that with support of what we call missionals, who are mentors that will be living on the property with the tenants, providing some additional cushion of community, I'm going to say. But then we also will have the wraparound services as well, that being case management that helps individuals get to appointments or make sure they have groceries, etc. And the other part of Sanctuary Indy is that we continue to do street outreach. We are currently doing street outreach on the east side where our first development will be going to, and that's to be a good neighbor to the east side. As we are able to have our other properties, we'll expand our street outreach into those areas as well for the same reason. What we have recognized is that street outreach is very pockets, different pockets where homelessness is visually seen by individuals who are doing street outreach. Our street outreach actually goes out and approaches individuals that we feel may be experiencing homelessness. I'm going to say at least 9 out of 10 times we are correct on that, just by different items that we've seen as we are approaching them. And we have a different form of outreach with reaching out to individuals, starting with a cup of coffee and just starting a rapport with them, and providing what we call emergency items for survival, triage items that are going to get them through the next 24 hours, and then also connecting them to resources. We have housing access sites where you can get onto a list to hopefully obtain a housing voucher through the city. And those access sites are hard to identify if you're new to falling into homelessness. And they are not easy to really access once you've identified where they are. It takes jumping through a few more hoops. So we streamline that process. I am a coordinated entry assessor for the city, and I incorporate that skill set into our street outreach. So I am able to complete the housing assessment and the homeless verification that's required while I'm on street outreach with individuals. So it's a very strong model of street outreach. We are actually building up our teams for street outreach, not to just be one team going out once a week, but to have a daily presence in the city doing that. And then also partnering with the city and their PBSO, which is Professional Blended Street Outreach. We partner with them to go out in teams with other street outreach individuals working through other service providers. So it's definitely a collaboration, which I feel is stronger when we're all working together. And then on top of that, we're also doing a research project with Indiana University. We were blessed to be able to receive the Trailblazer Award from Indiana CTSI. And with IU, we'll be going out and measuring the prevalence of comorbid symptoms of mental illness, those cognitive disabilities, and substance use disorder among those who are experiencing homelessness. So we're excited about that too, because the more we're able to get that information out to our community, we feel the more they'll recognize the need to jump in and also become a part of helping out. So all of that is coming from our hearts of having a strong faith in Jesus. We feel that once this ripple effect happens, that it's all going to be in the name of Jesus. Jesus will get all the credit for it. He's put this on my heart and my board's heart to be the Good Samaritans, helping those who are unable to care for themselves. And we also feel that in this society today that we live in, that we're disciples that are working in by showing the world who Jesus is and how we conduct our lives, almost like a parent modeling to a child. We're modeling to those who don't understand or question Christianity on our love and why we do what we do. It's not for ourselves by any means.
You have said so much, and I really hope the people listening to this have grasped all the amazing things that you just said. Okay. First of all, you focus on chronically homeless people. So, and I know you defined that, but I really think in most people's minds, that's what they think of when they think of homeless. They have a picture of somebody who has just been on the street for a long time. And
Yes,
like you said, quite often they are there because they have other issues, or they developed other issues while they were there. But either way, they're homeless and they have some other issues that they're
correct.
trying to deal with, and that you guys are trying to step in and help solve that. It's
Yes,
and not just do it by getting them in somewhere, but by honestly looking at how can we best help them to no longer be on the street, and not just get them in a place, but get them the surrounding the wraparound services that are needed to help launch them into a new way of life. You
correct.
you've mentioned Christianity quite a bit, and I want all of our people who are listening to understand what Indie Network is about. And I know you've heard me say this, but I'm going to repeat it for them. You can be really good at what you do and be a horrible Christian,
Yes.
or you can be a really good Christian and horrible at what you do. And we're looking for neither one of those to partner with the Indie Network. We're looking for people who are really good Christians, not because they're perfect. That's not the point, but they're people who
Mhm.
really do love the Lord and are trying to serve Him. And then number two, they're really really good at what they do, and you fit into that. Um, and that's why when you talk about that role model, by the way, I take notes whenever I'm talking to people, so people see me writing, that's what I'm doing. But you were talking about modeling Christianity, and that's not from an arrogant mentality. It's from a thing of, I'm further down the road, like you said, as a parent, I'm further down the road, I should be able to help you at least get to where I'm at. I you
Mhm.
know what, I'm not Jesus, so I can't get you all the way there, but I can help you at least to get to where I'm at. And so I love that. Um, your two main focuses are homes and outreaches. Okay.
Yes.
So in the area of needs, especially right now, not so much with the homes because they are not there. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But
Mhm.
for the outreaches, who is it that can become someone on a team doing an outreach? How does that even happen?
So we are actually hiring our first street outreach coordinator
Okay.
that will help me to go from the 1 day presence a week to a weekly presence. And it doesn't take much to do street outreach except just having that heart to serve. And and it does take having somebody with you that does have a background in understanding um, some barriers that may happen,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's just how you approach somebody, um, looking for maybe some potential danger signs, and really just having that sensitive heart to what the individual you're interacting with may be going through.
So
And
so you do have training, even if it's a lot of it's on the job training. So you're not going to say, "Hey, if I were to say, hey, I want to come volunteer with you," you go, "Good, go over there." Right? You're gonna go talk to those people. You're not doing that. You're
oh
training them
no,
and showing them what to do. Do they
sure.
contact you if they want to be a volunteer? How do they get in touch
Sure.
if they want to be a volunteer?
We have a connection through our website
Okay.
if anyone is wanting to volunteer, and then hopefully we'll have even more opportunities as we have that weekly, or I'm sorry, that daily presence instead of
Hmm.
just that one time a week. And we go out in very small groups. That is one thing to note, that we only have at most maybe about 3 people on our team, so we can take one person at a time. I would say if it is a large group that would like to participate, maybe doing a drive for the items that we need to take with us on street outreach would be beneficial.
That was the other thing I was going to talk about was the items.
Yes,
So having volunteers, and again, I did outreach for 30 plus years. Okay. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You can't just necessarily take in a glut of people, but don't,
right.
don't, if you're hearing this, guys, don't let that be an excuse to not call and check. if you feel like the Lord is saying, hey, I need you to be involved in this, contact Sanctuary Indy. You can do that. What is your website again?
It's www.sanctuaryindy.org.
Sanctuaryindy.org. So guys, go right there and you can volunteer or at least check into what when they're going out and see if it would work for you. I'm telling you, walking the streets, talking to people is such a rewarding thing to do. It is. And it used to blow me away. I would find people that were homeless that knew the Bible better than I did.
All the time.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wait a minute. And this started when I was first in Bible college. And then when I got out, and of course, I've done it for years, I was like, how do these people know this Bible better than I do? And I have a degree in it. And it was just phenomenal. We met people who were living down in the bushes around the Scottish Rite Cathedral
Hmm.
down there.
Hmm.
And uh, this woman had been a professor.
Hmm.
She was very, very smart. So this is not, it's very, it'd be very, very beneficial for Christians to get out there and just walk and talk to people.
Yeah.
And you're providing an opportunity that'd be so good for them. They would be doing exactly what I see in Philemon chapter, or there's only one chapter, Philemon 1, verse 6. He said, I pray you be active in sharing your faith, that you may have a full understanding of every good thing you have in Christ. And so as you're out there doing that, you start recognizing what God has done in you. Okay, that's enough preaching. I am a preacher. So, um, but so now the needs, what kind of items are you looking for?
I say that they I can tell you that we get tarps, we provide sleeping bags, we provide tents, um, carabiner clips, because that really helps when there's a tarp to hold the tarp down over a tent, especially in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And we do hygiene items, all kinds of hygiene items, bug spray, Advil or ibuprofen, nail clippers, uh,
Do you have a list of
anything.
this on the site anywhere?
No, it's not
Okay.
on the site, but if anybody, what is best is if I can communicate with an individual who's interested,
Mm-hmm.
see what their abilities are, as far as helping, and then we try to put something together that's achievable for them.
Okay. Okay. Yep. So,
We have some people, like I know that there's a group out there that once a year, the company, it's a refrigeration company, and they have Carhartt jackets that they get for their employees every year. And so at the end of the year, because they are, working in the cold
right.
and
Mm-hmm.
indoors, and they replace those every year. And so they give those coats out at the end of the year to donate to people who are outside, so everybody has gifts.
Listen, everybody can do something to make a difference.
Yes.
And that's why we at the Indie Network, we were so interested in connecting churches and businesses that want to do more with organizations such as you. But what we're doing right now is connecting individuals that say, you know what, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. That's why we have a variety on our website of organizations, because God might be speaking to somebody, say, hey, that homeless, when they're driving down Shadeland and they are crossing right there underneath the highway, and they
Hmm.
see the homeless people that are up underneath the bridge,
Hmm.
they can either go, oh, thank God I'm not going to be here long, or there might be the one that says, oh man, look at that, what can I do?
Hmm.
This is what you can do. You can contact Sanctuary Indy and say, how can I become involved? Whether you're involved personally by becoming one of the team members, volunteering to go along on some of the street outreach, or by helping to get the items needed so that they can help people. I love that, and it's so hands on, and it's almost like a no brainer. So thank you for making it that simple. I think that it goes well to. By the way, I'm going to make another comment that I wasn't going to, but I'm going to go ahead and make it. I know you personally. Obviously, we've sat and talked many, many times. You are a petite woman. Okay. Now, I'm
Okay.
not being mean. My point is this: you don't have to be some huge, threatening, big person to be able to walk out there and talk to somebody who's a homeless person. All you got to do is have the heart and God saying, "Hey, let's go," and you can go make a difference. And
Oh,
so
right.
when people have the excuse, well, I don't know if it'd be safe for me. Have Have you seen Michelle? Okay.
And
It's
I've never felt unsafe in it. And
no.
I go down into some pretty crazy environments.
I,
Yes.
uh, I have so many stories because we would go into the jungle. You know where that's
Hmm.
called over there
Hmm.
off of Washington Street. We'd be down in there. We would go everywhere you could to find homeless people to pick them up because then we would pick them up on Sundays and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, we went some wild places, right?
Yeah.
And then we would find whole groups of people living in a building, and we couldn't help. We couldn't provide housing for them, but we'd get blankets and show up again and give them out. Why? Because they just need that.
Hmm.
And that was an amazing thing. We'd have coffee and hot chocolate and stuff, and then just be able to sit and talk with people. And have you found that many times they just want to be treated with some respect?
Oh, sure. I mean, they're human beings. I mean, we're all human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And when people think that they are more dangerous, it's no more dangerous than individuals who are living in homes.
Right, right.
Um, no, they're just, and so just providing a smile, um, a, a conversation, that's showing that you're taking time out of your agenda for the day to be with them and that they matter.
I have a book. It's a wonderful book. I advise anybody to read it. It's called When Helping Hurts, and I don't know if you've read that book, but in it they define poverty, and most of us in the Western world define poverty as lack of some sort of thing, an item like a car, a house, the right clothing, education, all like that. But when you talk to the people who are living in poverty, the way they define it is um, lack of respect, not being seen, because they
Hmm.
feel as if they're invisible, that they don't matter. Um, uh, Almost like I'm not there. I'm here,
Hmm.
but I'm not really there. Nobody even knows me. There's just it, it's not in having a bunch of stuff. So then we try to solve all their needs by, well, if we do this, we do that. Yeah, but you're doing something simply by talking to them. You are handing them back humanity. And
Hmm.
so, folks, please hear me. You are doing something amazing if you will go on a team and just talk to somebody. And you know what? Forget that. Let's say you go, I don't know if I can do that. When you are walking along, going into a store, when you're anywhere and you see somebody who looks like they're down and out, say hello. Let
Hmm.
them know that somebody saw them. And it's not so much hand them $20 and walk away. That's good, but that's not. There's a thing of am I even here? Do I
Yeah.
matter? Does anybody care? And Michelle, that's what your guys' outreaches. That's what you're doing. And then you're taking people, and then you're going to help them because they matter. You're going to help them get into something that they probably had given up all hopes for.
Oh, yes,
A
for
home,
sure.
a home, safety, security. They're not having to try to find that every night, and they're not dealing with the rain and the cold and everything. They're in a home because somebody cared about them. Yes,
Yes.
the home is important, but it's because somebody cared about them, and they mattered. So I love it. You guys, you've got the Trailblazer Award. You're in the middle of a research project. You guys are really nailing it. And I want people to understand that those who are involved in the homeless realm, okay, with the city and with the universities and all, They have looked at Sanctuary Indy and they've looked at Michelle and they've said, that right there is a quality program. And I knew it was. I don't need them to tell me that, but it is nice to have that, right? It's nice to
Yeah,
say,
it
hey, look,
is.
we're legit. So many people want to do more, but they don't know who is legit. Michelle Shelburne and Sanctuary Indy is legit. So I really would just love people to get involved with you. Um, Again, you can go to sanctuaryindy.org. You can go to our website, indynetwork.org, and you can click on our serve area. We are going to be adding another page, which will be partners page, but right now it's on the serve page. And you'll be able to click on there and then be able to go right to their website. So, guys, get involved. If there's anything else that you'd like to say, is there a story that sticks out in your mind of somebody that you were talking to, something that happened? Is there a person, a story from all your years? You got over 20 years of involvement in this. Um, is there something that sticks out in your mind that you'd like to share with the people?
Uh, I I I would not ever underestimate that it takes investment in an individual. W- we start with that smile and saying hello and acknowledging someone's presence.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of times where they have built up so many layers of trauma, um, through no fault of their own, and they're very protective. And I would say it's it's not a reflection on the person that reaches out to them if they are not received in a positive way. Um,
True.
it's just a defense mechanism of the other person, and to see what happens as those layers come off of the individual is so rewarding. And it's probably a lot like Jesus is with us, right? That
Yeah.
same thing. A lot of people are just like put their hand out and say no.
Yeah.
But then as they continue to feel that investment, it, those layers come off of us as well. And um, and it's very beautiful.
Michelle, as you're talking, I'm reminded of a guy named Wolf. We found him on the street, or met him on the street, and he was a regular. He'd ride our bus to church, and we'd go and see him throughout the week. And one Sunday morning, it was Communion Sunday, and we were having serving communion. We only did that once a month in our church, and the altar was opened up for people to say, "Hey, look, before we serve communion, we want to say, are you right with God? Remember,
Mhm,
God loves you." And he had gone down to pray. I can remember where he was in the sanctuary, what part of the altar, because I went over to him. I said, "Hey, Wolf, how you doing?" And here was a tough guy who lived a long time on the street, and he was bawling. And he said he could never forgive me. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "What I've done, nobody could forgive me." He had been a he'd been in Vietnam, and he had been involved in things here when he got back. And it was just that, almost that self-loathing that was keeping him on that street.
mhm,
And that self-loathing had been reinforced because family had rejected him.
mhm,
And it got reinforced again because community was rejecting him. And then even when we met him, he tried to shake us. I remember the box he used to live in. I could take you to the spot where he used to be. And he would try to shake us just by reacting certain ways. We wouldn't get shaken. And I remember looking at him and I said, if he can't forgive you, he can't forgive anybody, because he went so much further than any of us so that nobody would ever be left behind. All you got to do is ask him.
that's right.
And I cannot explain to you the joy I had when he accepted that and he could take communion.
Mhm.
Wow. He has since passed, and I believe that he's with the Lord. But there's so many like that,
Oh,
Michelle,
yes.
that it's they get down like what I'm saying, that poverty came in that self-loathing, and then they rejected so many things because there is such a difficulty with themselves, even from themselves, that broken relationship. And I will close with this. I'm a preacher, so I close several times, but there are there are four key relationships that we have: relationship with God, relationship with ourselves, relationship with others, and relationship with all of creation. And so many times you find people that are broken that relationship with God, that's fine, but they don't, because they don't even notice that one as much. They
Hmm.
notice the broken relationship with themselves and then the broken relationship with others, which verifies their uselessness and their lowness. So what you are doing is amazing, amazing work. People get involved, back them. You can go to their site, you can donate. You can donate you can donate cash, you can donate items, you can volunteer. Please get involved with Sanctuary Indy. Folks, they are trying to build houses. Um, and in the small houses type neighbor um, neighborhood that you're building there on the east side.
We are.
And this is so awesome. I know you're looking for churches to be able to sponsor a house and
Yes.
individuals if they want to sponsor that house. Please, folks, get in touch with them. You can get a group together and say, we can help. We can purchase one of those homes. We can get in there and make a real difference in somebody's life. Because if you can make a difference in their life here, they'll listen to you about making a difference for eternity. And that's what this thing's all about. Anything you'd
For
like to
sure.
say beyond any of that, Michelle?
I think that was wonderful. I appreciate the opportunity to talk and to share. We need more people on the team.
Yep.
So of fighting this, I feel that homelessness is a healthcare issue, and we need more
Sure.
help out there handling it.
It's mental health, physical health, all that. God
Yes.
bless you. Thank you so much. People,
Thank you.
make sure you go to sanctuaryindy.org. Go there, check it out. God bless you. God bless you, Michelle. We
Thank
love
you.
what you're doing. Thank you for being part of the Indie Network.
No problem.
Bye now.